We carry within us a certain idealized image of love, an image often sculpted by novels, films, and the curated perfection we see in the lives of others. In this vision, we might expect that if we could eavesdrop on the conversations of the most admirable, clever, and loving couples in the world, those who'd properly cracked the puzzles of intimacy and emotional maturity would hear them talking in the noblest ways about the most serious things. We picture them in a tastefully decorated living room, perhaps with soft jazz playing in the background. On any given evening, they might be found discussing the connections between attachment theory and their early bonds with their parents, tracing the origins of their own relational patterns with psychological acuity. They might read a paper written by Melanie Klein aloud to one another, pausing to debate its finer points. Or perhaps they might relax by watching an early film by Akira Kurosawa, like Rashomon or Sanshiro Sagata, followed by a deep and insightful analysis of its themes of truth and honor. This is the gold standard we often hold in our minds, a partnership built on a foundation of constant, elevated intellectual and emotional exchange. So, it may come as a surprise and perhaps even a relief that in all likelihood, these couples would do nothing of the sort. If we were to gently place our recording equipment in their presence, shielded from view, the sounds we'd capture would paint a very different and far more human picture. Through our recording equipment, we might hear some of the following. One of them, staring blankly at the fruit bowl, starting to wonder aloud why bananas grow in an oblong, curved shape, postulating theories involving gravity and sunlight with no scientific basis whatsoever. The other, not quite listening, might go off on a complete tangent about a small, irritating ulcer they've got on the left side of their tongue, describing its precise location and texture in minute detail. All of this might occur while they are casually filing a toenail and half-glancing at a 10-minute airline review video on YouTube, commenting intermittently on the seat pitch in economy class. This might be followed by the other partner suddenly speculating, for no apparent reason and in a bad imitation of a German accent, on the hidden meanings in the lyrics of an old album by Dire Straits. This, in turn, might be a prelude to their partner interrupting to suggest that they wanted to follow up on last night's reheated curry with a rather adventurous snack, a chocolate biscuit dipped in strawberry yogurt. It might sound like regressive nonsense, and in key ways it is. It's disjointed, trivial, and utterly illogical. But we should pause before dismissing it. We might want to maintain that this sort of incoherent, meandering chatter should also be considered one of the high watermarks of emotional intimacy and, in its way, a bellwether of the most serious kinds of interpersonal closeness. People who know each other extremely well and love one another deeply do not, it appears, sit together in a perpetual seminar discussing philosophy or the accelerator theory in economics. They shoot the breeze. They swerve here and there. They talk absolute, unadulterated nonsense. And this, far from being some kind of distraction or unfortunate lapse in sophistication, is a strange and profound proof of the depths of their mutual affection. This playful absurdity is a language that can only be spoken in a space of profound psychological safety. Think back to the early days of dating. Our conversations are interviews. We are cautious, curated, and performative. We talk about our careers, our thoughtful opinions on art, our interesting travel stories. We present a polished resume of ourselves, hoping to impress, to be seen as worthy. The transition from that careful, guarded dialogue to talking about the shape of a banana is a monumental, if quiet, milestone. It signals that the audition is over. You got the part. Intimacy is about daring to be increasingly and bravely weird with someone else and finding out, with a deep sense of relief, that that's okay with them. It's the freedom to be boring, to be silly, to be completely unprofound. In the recesses of all of our minds flows a constant, chaotic stream of consciousness that mixes the serious and the unserious, the consequential and the flighty, the physical and the emotional. It's a river of unfiltered thoughts, fleeting observations, and half-formed ideas. For most of our lives, we build dams to contain this river, allowing only the most coherent and respectable currents to flow outwards. But when we've allowed ourselves to be genuinely close to someone, it is to this wild, untamed river that we welcome them. We do them the honor of showing them who we actually are, not who we should or pretend to be, a privilege we grant only to a handful of people in our lives. We are, in essence, handing them a backstage pass to our minds. Everyone else may know our sensible selves. Our colleagues, our acquaintances, even some of our friends they've been introduced to and know how to interact with our public persona. But only a select few are granted access to the raw, unedited footage. Only they know how to love and take an interest in the naughty, sweet, curious, and highly peculiar babbling child that lives within each of us. This is the self that worries about ulcers, wonders about fruit, and wants to dip biscuits in yogurt. When someone loves that version of you, you feel truly seen. When we talk about nothing in particular, we're doing something even more significant than when we attempt to say rational and logical things. We are co-creating a private world, a secret garden where the normal rules of discourse don't apply. We are building a unique dialect made of inside jokes, shared memories, and nonsensical phrases that would be meaningless to anyone else. We're allowing someone into the primordial parts of ourselves that the rules of society otherwise censor. In doing so, we're doing one of the most courageous and important things in the world, allowing someone else to truly and completely know us. So let go of the pressure to always be profound. The true magic of a lasting bond isn't found in perfectly curated conversations, but in the beautiful, chaotic, and often hilarious mess of shared silliness. It's in the safety of knowing you can voice the most random thought that pops into your head and be met not with judgment, but with an equally absurd reply that builds upon your own. This is what it means to build a home in another persona's sanctuary where your inner child can play freely, where your most random thoughts have a place to land, and where being known completely in all your glorious weirdness is the greatest expression of love of all. It is in these moments of shared nonsense that the deepest bonds are forged, creating a tapestry of love woven not with grand pronouncements, but with the quiet, sturdy threads of everyday absurdity. If you found a home in our thoughts today and appreciate these explorations of love and intimacy, we would be honored if you would subscribe to our channel. For more content that helps us understand ourselves and our relationships better, join our community as we continue this journey together.